This is going to be an extremely busy month. I have to watch 104 soccer games, follow the pregame, the postgame, yell useless opinions at the TV. It's a lot. So I knew that when it comes to screening for colon cancer, the choice was clear. The Cologuard Plus test. It can be used at home and can only take 15 minutes, so I can do it during halftime and not miss any action. If you are 45 or older and at average risk, ask your healthcare provider about screening for colon cancer with the Cologuard test. You can also request a prescription at Cologuard.com.
Want to elevate your travel experience? Here's how. With a Delta SkyMiles Reserve American Express card, you can relax before your flight in the Delta Sky Club with up to 15 visits per medallion year. And now through July 15th, 2026, you can earn up to 125,000 bonus miles, so you're closer to your next adventure. The Delta SkyMiles Reserve card. Check out the new design at www.delta.com/Spotify. Minimum spending requirements and terms apply.
Katz and Cosby, entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Joining us now is Senator Rick Scott from the great state of Florida. And Senator, it's so great to have you here. This is Rita Cosby, along with John and also Judge Richard Weinberg. And Senator, you are very much in favor of the SAVE Act, the voter ID. Talk about just how important it is. President Trump obviously has made this his priority.
Can I follow up with something Joe Manchin brought up?
Absolutely,
yeah, please,
absolutely.
Please.
We have an open forum here.
John, here's what I think's happened. Both in the Senate and the House, the money flows to whoever's the leadership. And so what is it, logically, what does somebody that's leader want? They want people that are going to support them. And so what happens if you're out there and you don't exactly support, whoever the leader is, guess what? In your next race, where most of the money goes to these leadership PACs, these big super PACs, you're not going to have any money. So guess what that tells you to do? You're gonna do what the leader tells you to do. So I think I think there's a lot of people like Joe Manchin said, we're not talking to each other in D.C. Like I invited Trump to come speak at lunch. I run the conservatives lunch on Wednesday, which most all the Republican senators come to. And some people are mad at me. I mean, I'm a business guy. I just said, look, we got to talk to each other. I mean, I'll talk to anybody in the Senate. I'm a business guy. I talk to everybody. Did I every time I talk to somebody, get a deal? No. But it opened my eyes what they needed. If I could solve their needs, I solved them. And so that's what we have to have, real conversations and start solving this. Think about the Save America Act. This is not a Republican issue. This is an America issue. Democrats want it. Republicans want it. Independents want it. We all want it. But guess what? I mean, Schumer has told all the Democrats, you cannot be for this. He's told them, and so they all have to say, yes, sir, Mr. Schumer, we're not going to be for it, even though their voters back home, they want voter ID. I mean, how simple is that? They only want Americans to vote. I mean, they want their voter rolls cleaned up. They don't want to have Democrat races, where, like what's gone on in L.A., where it's a joke. What is it, June 29th? They had a mayor's race, just a mayor's race, June 2nd. They still haven't finished counting ballots. You feel, as an outsider, here's what you feel about California. They're going to count until the Democrat wins. Right? And so when people feel that way, guess what happens? They say, why would I vote? My vote doesn't matter. It's how Joe Manchin feels. His vote doesn't matter right now. That's not how this should be working. All of our votes should matter. And so I'm going to bust my butt to get the Save America Act done because it's the right thing for Republicans, Democrats, and independents. We've got to get this passed.
But
Senator,
what's interesting?
Can we get it? Can we get it done?
Right. That's the question.
Absolutely. So people, what they say is, well, we don't have the votes today. You never have the votes all the time. You got to work for it. I built a company from me to 285,000 employees. Did I do it in one day? No, I went and talked to people. So here's the way the filibuster works. The filibuster was never intended to stop a bill. It was to say, we've had a thorough conversation. Now we're going to vote. So when we all feel comfortable, we're done talking, right? We're going to go vote. That's all it was set up to do. Now what Schumer does, he says, no, we're going to use it. We don't have to talk. We're just going to say we're just not going to be for something, so you can never have the vote. It only takes the rules in the Senate only takes 51 votes to pass something, but to get past the filibuster, it takes 60. Well, go talk. Go talk until you're blue in the face. But when you're done, we are going to vote. So right now we have the votes to pass the Save America Act. If we just got to say we're gonna go do the talking filibuster until the Democrats are done. And here's what I think is going to happen: if we talk about it, right, the American public will say, "Wait a minute, what do you guys are against voter ID?" And I've said publicly, okay, so if we don't want to pass the whole thing, just pass voter ID. Can we get that done? Just pass a bill that just says you have to be an American citizen to register to vote. Just pass it. You're going to clean up your voter rolls. Whatever we can pass, let's start passing stuff. Let's vote on stuff. I'm willing to vote on things. If I don't like it, I'll vote against it. And it's my job to tell my constituents why I'm against it. Well, let's go vote and let the Democrats explain to their voters that they think it's okay for people not to have an ID to vote. You have to know ID to get on an airplane, buy a beer, all that stuff, but not to go vote. The public doesn't believe that.
Well, you make a lot of common sense, Senator.
It's common sense. I mean, I just went to the Republican Party event in Florida on Saturday, right? And I gave a speech. And, you know, if I had talked about the Save America the whole time, people would have been happier because that's what they wanted to talk about. Everybody wants it to pass. And it's like people act like, well, Trump's unreasonable because he wants this bill to pass. Guess what? He ran on voter security. I mean, so we look around the country when the state just sends out ballots to anybody, to everybody, and there's ballots hanging around all the time. Do you think there's going to be fraud? Yeah. There's going to be fraud.
You know, the problem is, Senator, though, and you know this, the problem is Democrats aren't voting for anything. I mean, I think about the Lake and Riley Act. I mean, that they didn't want to vote for that. And they're not even voting. You may have even heard where John and I were talking earlier about they don't even want to have these exhibits at the Great American Fair. You know, there are a number of these Democratic-led states that are not exhibiting because they feel it's political, which is ridiculous. But it's like even the most basic things they won't, endorse.
So I've been very vocal. I think we ought to. A vote in the Senate takes a half hour. It should take less, but it takes a half hour. Okay, so let's vote on keeping government open every day. Every day, we know the Democrats want to shut down government October 1. That's bad for you. That's bad for federal workers. It's bad for our economy. Bad for that. So vote every day and show them the Democrats want to shut down government. Republicans want to keep it going. We want voter ID, right? Democrats don't. So do it every day and make them do it, and then be on TV and say, "Let me tell you how the vote went today," right? And just see what and keep telling the public this is the difference. And I think, Joe Manchin, we are not a far left and a far right country. We're a common sense country. But the way what's happened is the way the Republicans and Democrats in the House and Senate have to do is they're so dependent on who the leadership money, that whatever the leadership tells them to do, they've got to do because, oh gosh, they got a race coming up and they're going to have to go along. Well, that's not right. So we got to start fighting. It's like we have problems. We got to start solving them. Social Security goes bankrupt in 6 years. We're running $2 trillion deficits. All right, so we got a war. We got to prevent Iran from getting a nuclear weapon. We have big issues. Let's go fight on the floor about them, and then vote and say how we're going to solve it. I'll argue with anybody about the things I believe in, and if I can't defend them, you know whose problem that is? That's mine. If I can't get the votes, you know whose that problem is? That's mine. But give me the shot. Let me go put my stuff up on the floor and see what I can do.
Bravo.
Let's go vote.
Bravo. You're right.
Senator, well, I mean, I worry, but you're right. We have to fight every day and see what we can do.
Yeah, let the public know what we're doing. A lot of times in D.C., people think, well, I can do whatever I want because people don't know what I'm doing. Well, make sure they know. I tell people what I'm doing. I put an email to millions of people every Friday, and I tell people, this is what I did for you this week, and if you don't like it, call me. I mean, I think it's about 3 million out of 24 million Floridians I have some contact with that my office does every year.
Last question before Senator, last question before we call it a day. I was sick this morning when I heard about the Democratic states that don't want to participate in the 250-year anniversary in Washington. I mean, you can hate Trump, but don't you love the country?
They hate Trump so bad. But guess what? You know what? Those citizens in that state, there's patriots in that state. There's Democrat patriots and Republican patriots and independent patriots. You know what they're thinking? They're thinking they're disappointed in their government. When I think about this, John, when I ran in 2010, Florida was a Democrat state. There are 68,000 more Democrats. I won because I talked about common sense issues. I'm going to get you a job. I'm going to get your kids a better education. I'm going to make sure you're safe. That's all I talked about. And guess what? I won. I had my first 3 statewide races. There were more registered Democrats than Republicans. Now we're a big Republican state because guess what? People said, you know what? Republican ideas work. I can get a job. My kids get a better education. I feel safe in this community. So that's what we have to do. And if the Democrats have a better idea, go sell it. In business, I competed every day. Every day I competed, and I had to watch what did my competition do, and if I wanted to get that customer, I had to get better. Let's go fight and figure out who's the best, and then and the public will decide every election.
Absolutely.
Senator Rick Scott, keep fighting. We stand by your side, and whatever you need from WABC, you tell us, and we broadcast to millions of people every day.
All right. Bye, Rita. Bye, John. See you.
Thank you.